welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, that's Will, and we are ready to break down today's Saturday hockey mostly for us. I don't have any other picks in any other sports except for a two-team college football parlay that I gave out on Power Hour on Picks and Parlays, but that is about to start here. I took Tulane and North Carolina, both -2.5. So that's my college football parlay. I don't have these standings updated for the show. That's what happens on the Saturday. So we'll have updated standings with yesterday, today, and tomorrow's results on Monday, like usual. So we'll jump right into the first game here. It's starting in just around an hour. We have the New York Islanders and the Detroit Red Wings in this one here. I don't believe we have starting goalies announced yet. I will take a look here. Second, because there's been talk. Yeah, it's unconfirmed for both. It's projected to be Varlamov and Ville Husso. So here in this one, Islanders -128 to -149. Detroit +112 to +124. Sixes, I see a 5.5 available as well in this game here. 5.5 with the Red Wings. You better hope Ville Husso's in net and it's not Nedeljkovic. But for me, I'm on the Islanders. I'm just getting up the odds that I got for them yesterday. Get it here -125. Now you're looking at around -128 to -130. Obviously, I want Sorokin in net. I don't want Varlamov in net. With Varlamov, you just shoot above his glove, and like he can't stop a puck with his glove. So hopefully the Detroit Red Wings aren't talking about that right now in the locker room and getting ready for this game. But I like the Islanders. They're just playing so well right now. Yes, Detroit 4-1-1 at home. Detroit's playing very well at home. Not really a team I want to back at home, but the Islanders, they've won their last 5 against mostly good teams. 7-2-1 in their last 10 meetings against Detroit. I think the Islanders are the right side. But now, if you're looking at -135 to -150, you may want to go in regulation, and you may want to wait until goalies are announced. If Sorokin is confirmed, then yes, I really like the Islanders in regulation. If it's Varlamov, it could be a pass at this price for me now. Will, Islanders, Red Wings, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I just want to mention I'm about a week away from splitting up my statistics home and away so that we can get a better idea of what the teams who the teams are. I mean, the Penguins play a lot better at home than they do on the road, and I don't think the books factor that in. So that's kind of how my model differentiates itself. But for today, the Islanders, I have about a 6% edge looking at both numbers, whether it be home and away for these teams or all numbers together. The only thing I want to say is this number's moved from -115 to about -135 for the Islanders. And because of that, and because Varlamov looks like he's going to start, I think in about 24 minutes when Varlamov leads them out on the ice, some money is going to come in on Detroit. And once that money comes in on Detroit, I think we're going to get a better number with the Islanders. And that's when I would take them. Normally, I would have taken them yesterday. I was a little lazy, didn't get to it. I'm going to wait and see if we get a little number bumped down when Varlamov gets confirmed.
Yeah, that's a good thought there, because if it is Varlamov against Husso, which is projected, we haven't seen anything confirmed yet, then you will you'll likely definitely get a better price than if Sorokin was confirmed. We'll go on to the next one that is being played in Finland, Colorado and Columbus on the second night of their back-to-back in Tampere, Finland. Colorado -250 to -279. Columbus +200 to +231. 6.5s right across the board in this one. And I'm going right back to where I was yesterday. Patrick Laine to score +185. And Mikko Rantanen to score plus 116. I'm taking the Finnish players to score. I am leaving Lehkonen out. I bet him yesterday as well. He didn't score. Because I'm leaving Arturi Lehkonen out today, he's probably going to score. So keep that in mind. But Mika Rantanen a hat trick last night, plus 116. Laine got a goal yesterday, plus 185. This is these players' last chances, most likely, to play in front of their friends and family on home soil, probably for the rest of their careers. I would guess so. I expect both players to come out here, and then I'm on the over 6.5. Columbus has gone over 6.5 in 8 of their 11 games. Colorado over 6.5 in 6 of 10. We will be having Jonas Corposalo for his first game of the year, his first game in a long time. Obviously, he's going to be motivated, being from Finland as well. But being motivated and being ready is two different things. And I just don't like this spot for him on a second night of a back-to-back against the Avalanche. So I like the over 6.5. Rantanen and Laine both to score. Will, Avalanche, Blue Jackets, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, you can be motivated and let in 5 goals at the same time. So I that's kind of where my prediction goes. I have about a 5% edge on the Avalanche, just like yesterday. I didn't play it yesterday just because I don't love these European games. I probably won't play it today. But if I have a 5% edge with the team at minus 250, I don't take minus 250. I don't take in regulation. At that point, I'll take the puck line. My projection is 4.28 to 2.11. So that's a 2+ goal difference. So that puck line at even money looks pretty fair. I wish we could have, I think it was plus money last night. I wish I could have grabbed it there. But again, I don't really target these European games for action. It's just not worth it to project something that happens twice a year for me.
Yeah, I wanted to see yesterday's results before obviously I took the Finnish players to score, but other than that, I wanted to see how the bigger ice would affect the total and the scoring and everything before I went with the total. And now that I've seen that, I feel better about it today.
And that's the other thing for me is every single one of my numbers comes from American ice. So to suddenly just try and project a different game with different variables, I just don't really feel comfortable putting out plays.
Yeah, of course. We'll go on to the next game. I'm just checking to see if we do have confirmed goalies. Yes, it looks like it will be Arvid Soderblom again, who has been playing really well for the Blackhawks so far. And then it does look like he's likely, but it does look like it'll be Connor Hellebuck in this one for the Jets. You can get Chicago plus 180 to plus 200, Winnipeg minus 225 to minus 250. Sixes, I do see a couple 6.5s available. And that's where I will be going is to take the under 6.5. Yes, I'm going to take an under in the NHL right now. And basically, the reason for it is Hellebuck and Winnipeg have gone under in 7 of their 10 games. They're an under team this year. That's definitely clear. Chicago had been an over team, and I took the over against LA, thinking that, and I even said on the show, I don't see how this could possibly stay under. And of course, it stayed under. Soderblom may not be the fade that a lot of us have thought that he is. He may actually be better than a lot of us thought he is. So obviously it's a couple games, but he's been playing well, and now he's coming to face this defensive-minded Winnipeg Jets team, and I'm getting a 6.5 under 6.5 for me in this one. Will, Blackhawks Jets. What do you think here?
I think it was Alex B. Smith that posted that Soderblom is not the future for the Blackhawks, and it made me laugh for 5 minutes straight. Because it's true, and to overreact over 2 games is crazy. But you're right; he's not a bad goalie. He's in the NHL for a reason, and just to lay a 6.5 because he's in net is wrong. I'm a little confused on this game because my numbers. I'm running 2 numbers right now. One where I'm only looking at Blackhawks road games and Jets home games because that's the situation we're in today, and my other model has all games, and all games gives the Blackhawks about a 5% edge. But if we're only looking at Blackhawks road games and Jets home games, the line is perfect. And the Blackhawks really, I mean, I have about a goal and a half difference, and my only edge is on the under 4.6 projected goals. And it's because the Blackhawks do not score on the road. And I just would find it surprising if Hellebuck let in more than 2 goals today.
All right. Yes, I love the road home splits, especially in hockey compared to some other sports. Last year, for everyone that was watching the show, I don't know if I'm going to have the complete. Um, what I was doing last year is I would have the away teams goals for, power play, shots, and I'd bring all that and make a spreadsheet on the spreadsheet and bring it up on the screen. I did take a lot of work, so I don't know if I'm going to fully get to it this year. But I am a huge believer in looking at the road home splits, especially like the Wild last year. Power play, penalty kill was great on the road, but at home was absolutely horrible. So there are teams that you're going to find. Obviously, that's changed this year when it comes to the power play, but things change year to year. But there's going to be teams that are going to be really good at things at home and not very good at things on the road. And yeah, definitely have to look at the splits because they definitely matter. TIS be an afternoon game. Yes, this is one of the afternoon games, and we'll get to the final one, the fourth and final afternoon game here. Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers. In this one, you can find Dallas plus 133 to plus 145. Edmonton minus 156 to minus 170. 6.5s. I do see a couple sevens as well in this one. I'm taking Dallas plus 145 here. Obviously, both teams are playing well in this one. I do think Edmonton should most likely be favored in this game, but I think it should be a little bit closer than the odds that we have here. I think obviously if Ottinger was in net, I think we'd have a different number here, but Dallas has been playing just fine with Wedgwood. He's done just fine. Obviously not like Ottinger, but that leads me to look towards the over as well. 4 of the last 6 games between Dallas and Edmonton have gone over 6.5 in recent meetings. But you're seeing 6.5 or sevens. And I just don't have it in me to take an over 7 with the Dallas Stars just because how defensive they've been for so many years. I know they're a little bit different this year, but I'm still not ready to take an over 7 with them. So I'm taking Dallas money line at plus 145. I think this is going to be a closer game, a close game, and I think there's just too much value with Dallas on the road here at plus 145. I think they should be more like plus 120, plus 115 most likely in this spot. So I'll take the Stars here as a road dog. Will, Stars, Oilers, what do you think here?
Yeah, so I'm just not that high on the Oilers this season, let alone the Oilers at home. Both models at this point have about a 15% edge on the Stars today. Both models, the one using full season stats is at minus 115 for the line. The one using just home road splits is at minus 135 for the Stars. So I just don't really know why the Oilers are getting favored by this much against playoff caliber teams. You saw the Devils the other night come back and win a game that they should have won, in my opinion. And I'm just be surprised if the Stars don't give the Oilers a lot of trouble tonight. The Stars are a good hockey team, foundationally strong. And the only issue I could see is if they get into a shootout with this Oilers team with Ottinger not in net. Maybe the Oilers win 6-5. But I'm not taking the over.
Yeah, me neither. But I think it's the only reason I can think about the price is because Wedgwood, because of the goaltending and Dallas being on the road. But yeah, still, just that's not enough to equal that it should be that price.
And especially with, I mean, New Jersey's goalies aren't that great. Like, for me, it's about who's going to dominate the play today. And I really think Dallas is going to come in here and dominate the offensive zone chances, expected goals. I just don't see the Oilers as a strong team that dominates other teams so far this year, at least.
Only when McDavid's on the ice. When
Right.
McDavid's line's gone, yeah, then it'll be all Dallas. I totally agree. We'll go on to the next one here. We have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens. You can find Vegas minus 200 to minus 222. Montreal plus 170 to plus 180. 6.5s right across the board in this one. I've been riding Vegas the last few games, and I'm going to continue on with that. Vegas puck line plus 125. Vegas won both meetings last year 4-3 and 5-2. And that was an off year for Vegas last year. But Eichel looks like he belongs to this team this year. Last year, he didn't quite look like he fit in, obviously, in his first year. But now he looks like he fits in well against Montreal. I like Vegas to continue on. Puck line plus 125. They have the better goaltending. Doesn't really seem to matter who's in net. People have been talking about how great Logan Thompson has been. Have you seen Aiden Hill's numbers? Yes, he's only played 4 games, but he also has spectacular numbers. So these teams are getting goaltending, or Vegas is getting goaltending that is just unreal right now. And then that just leads me to have to continue backing them until something changes, until they start to degress. I'll continue to back them here. Will, Golden Knights, Canadiens, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, so I'm trying to again play this fine line this next week between the two different groups of numbers. And when you do the home road splits this year, I project about 5.8 goals in this game. But if you use all statistics this year, I project about 4.1 goals this game. And it's because Vegas has been the best defensive team in hockey this year. And Montreal is meh. They score a lot of goals on the rush, and they don't do it from offensive zone pressure. And the thing is, Vegas doesn't allow rush chances. So I just don't like this matchup for Montreal. I lean towards the under, but since my numbers with home and away splits have a 5.8 goals projection, I think I like the Canadiens team total under better because I trust the Vegas defense more than I trust Montreal to stop Vegas from scoring.
All right. I like that. Looking at the comment here, Occupancy said, what hockey wizards are you in contact with? Isaac's great read on the Carolina Aho. Isaacs continues to cash his goal scoring props. So he has another one for his best bet today, and he cashed Zaka. It's funny, he's picked Zaka to score twice, and both times he scored his only 2 goals of the year. So it's not like he's picking Zaka every single game hoping to get lucky. He literally picked Zaka to score both of his goals this year as his best bet, and got Aho yesterday. So yeah, Isaacs either has a sports almanac or something, and he's back to the future, or he's just really skilled or getting really lucky. But keep it going, Isaacs. It's
Once
awesome.
you're hitting goal scores at 100% rate, the game gets kind of boring.
Yeah, basically, he needs some kind of something to worry about or be excited about. But speaking about some worries, no, I'm kidding. The Buffalo Sabres and Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, uh, Sabres money line yesterday did not cash. They came out so strong to start the game, but Carolina ultimately was able to. They did have some lucky bounces, and there were some missed calls. I know Tim posted my famous zebra angry face in the Twitter chat. But now Buffalo heads to Tampa. This is not a good spot for Buffalo. I'll be honest, but Buffalo plus 172 to plus 205. Tampa minus 200 to minus 250. 6.5s right across the board. The best odds you can get for 6.5 is minus 121. And I took the over 6.5 last night at minus 108. And then to find out today that it'll be Brian Elliott in net. which is just amazing because when you take an over with Tampa Bay, um, you're taking the chance that Vasilevsky might start. But to find out that it's Elliott, obviously Elliott's still an NHL goaltender. I'm not saying that the over's a lock or anything now because he's in net, but when you see Elliott instead of Vasilevsky and you're on the over, you're going to feel better because that's just a good thing. Comrie has not been as good as Anderson this year. He's been letting in goals. I think both teams score goals in this one. I think we see lots of goals in this one. So I'm on the over 6.5 in this one. And Tampa is 9-1 in their last 10 at home against Buffalo. They have dominated the Sabres for a while. Can the Sabres bounce back today? We'll see. Will, Sabres, Lightning, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I was always thinking this 5-game stretch here, Carolina, Tampa. I believe we have Vegas and maybe Boston coming up too. It's just going to be a little test for the Sabres to see who they really are. And honestly, yesterday, I don't want to blame Craig Anderson because he's a good goalie and he kept us in the game for part of the game there, but he's not going to get this team to the playoffs as a backup goalie. And I hope the Sabres realize that because this team has talent and they're good enough to fight for a playoff spot. And I really hope Craig Anderson isn't what stops them. I love him as a player, but he's just not cutting it right now for us. And because of that, and because Comrie's going tonight, Sabres are going to pay us back today. Sabres plus 210. I just haven't been in love with how the Lightning have played this year. They really haven't been dominating offensively besides those top two lines. The third and fourth line have been average, if not actually negative for their team. I just think the Sabres are going to be angry. And I really hate taking teams on a back-to-back when they win the first night, because what do they have to play for? But this young team, they're not just going to sit down and take a loss. They're going to come out and play. And maybe they will lose to Tampa. I mean, they're plus 200, but I think it'll be a close game. And I think the Sabres aren't just going to not make the playoffs this year because they go on a 10-game losing streak. They're too good for that. I am a Sabres fan, by the way.
I already tweeted out the Sabres team is different than the past Sabres team. Will they make the playoffs and end that playoffs losing streak like the Seattle Mariners did? We will have to see. I'm not ready to make a statement on that. But yeah, they're not the same Sabres team that they've been the last few years for sure. Moving on to this matchup, we have Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We know how Maple Leafs fans feel about the Bruins regarding Game 7s in the playoffs. I won't speak anything else about it. Maple Leafs fans still have nightmares regarding those Game 7s, but we have Boston as an underdog. You can get them at plus 108 to plus 118. Toronto minus 127 to minus 150. 6.5s right across the board in this game. Boston, once again, an underdog on the road here. I get it, they're on the road, but this team should not be an underdog against anybody. That's my opinion right now. Against anybody in this league, from what I've seen so far, Boston should not be an underdog against anybody in this league. Maybe in Vegas. That would be the one spot where I'd say, okay, just based on what we've seen so far. The Leafs have lost 4 of their last 5 games against bad competition. Yes, they are better at home. Yes, they're coming off a win against Philadelphia. Whoop-de-doo. Now they're going to have to face this Boston team. The only thing that makes me a little bit uncomfortable about the Bruins right now is all the talk in the media regarding signing Mitchell Miller to his 3-year entry-level deal. I already expressed my opinions on Twitter about this. I think it is a horrible thing for the NHL to do, for Don Sweeney to do, and the Boston Bruins organization. But with that said, I'm still taking the Bruins at an underdog price. I don't think ultimately the team's going to fall apart because of all this Mitchell Miller stuff. I do think it's going to be some background noise, but I don't ultimately think it'll affect them in this game here. So I'm once again taking Boston as an underdog. on the road here. Will, Bruins, Maple Leafs, what do you think here?
Yeah, so far this year, sides for my model are 37, 35, and 0. So we're breaking about even on win percentage. We're up about 3 units, but the reason I really bring this up is the Bruins 4-0 when they have an edge with my model. This team is underrated in the market. It's just a fact that the market sees the injuries that are, I mean, the players that are still injured without Marchand, and they think this team is weakened because of it, and they're not. They're just going to get stronger when they get these players back and get to full strength. And right now, they're better than the Maple Leafs. And if you've watched any Bruins game and any Maple Leafs game, you can see it. So I just don't really understand why the market has this as minus 130 for the Maple Leafs with the way they've been playing. It's actually confusing me. I joked to you on Twitter that it's because what would the media have to talk about after the game if Toronto's not a favorite? And honestly, that might be it. Like, the Bruins should be the favorite here. They've played better hockey this year. That's it. That's my opinion. I'm on Bruins money line.
The only thing I can think of is because this Leafs team, I completely lost my train of thought. So never mind. Leafs, I totally lost my train of thought. But we'll move on to the next game. We have the Seattle Kraken and the Pittsburgh Penguins. You can find the Kraken plus 150 to plus 170. Seattle or Pittsburgh minus 179 to minus 200, 6.5 right across the board. I'm going to ask everybody watching a question. Should the Pittsburgh Penguins be minus 200 right now against the Seattle Kraken team? My answer is no, absolutely not. Yes, Pittsburgh's had a tough schedule. NHL schedule makers did not do Pittsburgh any favors in this stretch, but they're not playing well. They are not playing well. And I personally watched the Kraken, obviously, in their last game when they beat my Minnesota Wild. Yes, the Wild's injuries to all their tough physical guys really did hurt in that game. But Seattle was able to control the puck for most of the game using their big bodied players, not letting the Wild get into the offensive zone cleanly and just kind of mucking things up. And now they're going to face this Pittsburgh team who is just not playing well. I took the Kraken plus 173 last night. Obviously, now you can get them plus 170, plus 160, whatever. This Kraken team should not be this big of a plus price against this Penguins team right now. I do think the Penguins will rebound. I don't think it's season over, panic time for the Penguins. But you may want to not panic, but you may want to kind of keep an eye on things here. Something definitely needs to change. They need a big win. I just don't think it comes here against this Kraken team. I just love the way the Kraken have been playing. And I said in the season preview show, I'm high on this Kraken team. They made a lot of great additions in the offseason. They just need to stop the puck. And Martin Jones didn't have to do very much against the Wild. And he got his shutout. So we'll see what happens here. Will, Kraken, Penguins. Are you releasing the Kraken tonight?
I honestly haven't decided. I'm looking at my two numbers here, and right now, using home road splits, I have this game right around perfect. The Penguins have the best offense at home in the NHL, and their offense is a lot worse when they go on the road. Almost a goal worse per 60 minutes. So I kind of want to stay away because of this, because I do trust home road splits so much. I'm not ready to use them as my only model yet, but I just, there's a reason that Pittsburgh is minus 220 favorites. And I think this might be it. I may sprinkle a little bit on the Kraken if it jumps up a little bit, because I do have an 8% edge using this year's full numbers. But again, when I go home road splits for these two teams, it becomes like a 2% edge for the Kraken. So, yeah, Kraken team total over 2.5. I have 3 projected goals. I think that's a good way to play it. I think they've hit that every game this year. Um, so that looks like a good angle, honestly.
All
Thanks,
right.
occupancy.
We'll move on along to the next game. We have the Coyotes and the Washington Capitals in this one. You can get Arizona plus 235 to plus 250, Washington minus 278 to minus 315. Sixes and 6.5s available in this one. Washington a minus 300 favorite. I can promise you I am not backing the Capitals in this spot, especially with all the injuries they have, but I'm sure as heck not taking the Coyotes either. This is an under spot for me, under 6.5. I am waiting a little bit still to see who will be in net for Arizona. It does look like it will be Kemper for Washington. I don't see I don't see Arizona scoring very many goals in this game. Vejmelka is projected, um, as Nick said in the group chat, one of the group chats. He thinks there's a big difference between Vejmelka and Connor Ingram based on expected goal stats. In the end, they both kind of give up the same amount when it comes to actual numbers. So I'm not sure how much I take evidence in that, but I would rather see Vejmelka play than I would rather see Ingram. So leaning towards the under, haven't pulled the trigger. I'd have to go with minus 118, minus 119 for under 6.5. That's most likely where I'll end up, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. It's just a lean in this one. Because you never know what the Coyotes could do. And they have been finding ways to score, even on the power play. They have a top 3 power play in the NHL, which doesn't make sense. But yeah. Well, Coyotes, Capitals, what do you think here?
Yeah, so this is one that kind of interests me. I don't know if I'm gonna play it exactly. Just because again, I'm waiting a week for these. Calgary's played one road game, so it's hard to compare. Yeah, it's hard to compare teams when Calgary's only played one road game and other teams have played 8. So I'm just waiting a few more days to really trust these numbers. But for Coyotes Capitals, when you use their home road splits, my projection is 7.3, and when you use just regular statistics, it's close to 6. So these teams play to the over when Arizona's on the road and Washington's at home. So I just look at that. I don't think I'm going to play it. Otherwise, I don't really have any edge on this game. I think the price of 250 plus 250 and minus 285 is pretty spot on. I wouldn't want to touch either of them. So if anything, I would just look at that over, maybe a live over if they don't score in the first 10 minutes. I just think these splits are it's interesting to look at. That's kind of where I'm at.
All right. We'll go on to, yeah, Richie says pass. I may ultimately pass. Haven't quite decided yet. Leaning towards the under. Going on to the next game, and then we'll have the goalie pull segment with the final 4 games that we didn't go over. New Jersey Devils and the Calgary Flames in this one. You can find New Jersey plus 138 to plus 150. Calgary minus 150 to minus 176. 6.5s right across the board in this one. New Jersey ended their losing streak in Edmonton. Obviously, they have not played well in Edmonton over the years, and they have not played well in Calgary over the years either. Calgary 9-1 in the last 10 at home against New Jersey. But this New Jersey team showed against the Oilers and have showed so far this year that, like the Buffalo Sabres so far, they are not the same team that they have been. This Devils team is playing defense, and that is able to cover up some goaltending issues because of how strong defensively they're playing. This Flames team, like you said, they've been on a long homestand. but they've lost 4 of their last 5 games, despite being at home, and not exactly to the best of competition either. So, like I said, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Devils are plus 150, plus 145 in this game. I don't believe that they should be plus 150, plus 145 in this game. So there's value. I'm taking the Devils money line. I got them at plus 146. Don't be surprised if they win this game outright and continue on their current hot streak. I have not done my player point parlay yet, which I will definitely get to after the show. But I will be looking at Jesper Bratt in this one because he is just dominant. New Jersey's best offensive player, and I don't think it's even really that close. So I'll be taking Bratt in some form here in my player point parlay. Follow me at Let's Go Wild Picks on Betstamp, and you'll be able to get my parlay there later on. Will, Devils, Flames, what do you think of this one?
I agree with you, and I hope people are seeing the theme today. It's road dogs who shouldn't be dogs. Stars, Bruins, Devils. If you've watched the first 10 games this year, these teams have outplayed their counterparts that they're playing this year. And I think that's why we're seeing these lines as bettable, because we think they're wrong. I have the Devils as minus 104. That's my line for them. I have them favored to win the game. And one other thing I've been working on, I've actually been tracking first team to score data for every game this season and home and away. And the Devils have scored 8 of 11 first goals in their games, while Calgary's only scored four times in 9 games. So that's one of the little edges that I'm looking at. I haven't been betting these. I'm just tracking them for now, but I'm trying to see if there's some teams that come out hot early and some teams that don't. One other little thing to look at, Philadelphia's scored 20% of the first team goals this year in their games. So bad teams don't score first. And I'm sure the number shows that, but something to think about.
All right. We'll move on to the final 4 games that we have on today's slate. And I did not get to any of them. Philly and Ottawa, we will be having Cam Talbot getting his first start of the season. He did play a little bit in the final game or in the last game, not allowing a goal. And now he'll get his first start against his Philadelphia team. Ultimately, it's a pass for me. I'm not getting involved. Nashville, Vancouver, again, a pass. I could see either team winning here. Vancouver may have finally ended their losing streak here, may have finally got it going after a rough start. And then Nashville surprised everybody, beating Calgary in their last game. So I could see either thing happening here. Florida and LA. I said on the other show, when it comes to Florida and San Jose, Florida has had a lot of success in San Jose. Obviously, I do believe they lost. Yeah, they lost against the Sharks. So no, they did win. Yeah. So they kept that going. Their long history against the Sharks. But when you look at LA, which is obviously very close to San Jose, it's not the same. They're 2-10 in their last 12 games in LA. LA has had a lot of success against Florida at home, but ultimately I'm staying off this one. Don't really have a good feeling. And then the Sharks and Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim 5-1 in their last 6 in San Jose. They've had success against San Jose, including the win they got last week, a high scoring game. I was looking at the over, but I didn't like the price, and I don't like the price now because you have to take a 7 in this one, unless you're taking 6.5. Oh, there's 6.5 minus 120, minus 125. Okay. So there are still 6.5s available. But ultimately, I'm going to stay off. Don't have to bet every game, but it would be lean with the over with the Sharks and Ducks. Will, the final 4 games that we did not discuss today, what do you think about them?
Yeah, actually, this is the first time this year I think that the goalie pool has games that I just don't care about, and that my model doesn't. I mean, it's like you looked at the model this morning. All 4 of these games, no edges, at all. None for the over under, none for the money line, none for the puck line. I had a little edge on Ottawa and a little edge on LA last night, and those have since been bet away. LA was plus 130 yesterday. They're now plus 115. I wouldn't touch it there. Don't see any value there. So really, these 4 games are just, I mean, if you look at the matchups, they're ugly, and you don't need to bet every game, like Terry said. So just pass and move on.
Exactly. Isaacs going to ride Carlson anytime goal.
Yeah.
Erik Karlsson. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say my first ever fantasy team, my 2 players were Kane and Carlson. I had to give up Carlson a few years back. I had to drop him when he got, his, what was it? Achilles injury. I think I tweeted this the other day, but he was Makar before Makar. Like, people were amazed by Cal Makar. Erik Karlsson was doing this shit like 8 years earlier. It's like Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers was doing it 10 years before Patrick Mahomes. Like, Erik Karlsson, he started this new era of defensemen activating in the offensive zone and joining the rush. And to see him healthy again, it's amazing. I love it. He's dominating play out there, and it could change the San Jose team's trajectory, no matter how bad the contract is.
See, you threw that in right before I was about to talk. Awesome, no, I'm just kidding. But no, San Jose, I've seen some stuff about trade rumors with Karlsson. I feel bad for the sucker that trades for Karlsson. Yes, he's playing very well right now. You have to give him that. Offensively, he would help any team right now. But that contract is horrible. And if he goes back to last year's Karlsson, you have a albatross across choking you to death. I don't like it at all. He is playing very well right now, so you have to definitely keep that in mind when it comes to props right now. He's definitely probably a good look, especially against an Anaheim team who's having trouble stopping the puck as well. He's on fire right now, but the team keeps losing. Yeah,
I mean,
that's why San Jose is probably going to explore trying to trade him, which is smart for San Jose. Yes, but the team that trades for him, unless you're getting 50% cap retention, and even then, it's a mess.
Yeah.
I think
he was a point a game defenseman without good players in Ottawa. I know they had those few years with Stone and Zibanejad, and I mean, very good offensive players that are now gone, but he really knows how to run an offense without talent around him. It's the seeing-eye wrist shot from the point. That's all he does. About yay high, and it goes right under the goalie's arm, right into the back of the net. He's done it for 10, 12 years. So, yeah, I mean, 3-4 to 1 for him to score goals. If he's going to score 25 goals this year, until they fix that number, hit it every game, honestly. I don't think you'll lose money.
There we go. Going on to other picks for today. I don't have any. I went 2-0 on my NBA picks yesterday. Don't have any NBA picks that I like today.
He's retired.
I'll be very sorry.
Nothing. I said you're retired.
Oh yeah. No. I'm going to be very selective with the NBA. Very, very selective. Only when I really like something am I going to pull the trigger on it. Obviously, that's how you should do with everything, but hockey, I'm much more willing to bet more with different things. But Will, any other picks in any other sports for you?
No, not really. I've been focusing on this hockey grind, trying to get my home road splits going.
Perfect. We'll go to the best bet segment, and we'll start with over/under, as we usually do. For me, Columbus, Colorado, over 6.5. Nick is taking Winnipeg, Chicago, under 6.5. Tim is taking Oklahoma State, team total over 30.5. Ryan is going with New York Islanders, team total over 3.5. Occupancy is also going to take Islanders, team total over 3.5. IceX is going to take Edmonton Oilers, team total under 3.5. I think that's the first team total under we've had this year. And then Dave is going to the NBA and taking Sacramento and Orlando over 225.5. Will, is there a total that you like today?
Uh, Honestly, no. I'm gonna pass today. I would be leaning towards that Winnipeg Chicago under 6.5, but I haven't really been wanting to pay -120 for under 6.5. I did some digging, and the two numbers that are landed on the most are 5 and 7. So
Yeah.
it's not really worth it to pay that much juice for an under 6.5 these days. I do want to say one other thing: Islanders -125 right now. Varlam's been
Oh, I'm
confirmed.
back to my. Oh,
Oh
does
yeah.
that mean he's confirmed?
Oh, he's confirmed, yeah. But it just started moving. I see -125 at DraftKings, -126 at FanDuel, 125 at PointsBet. It's going down a little bit.
Oh boy. Come on, Varlamov. You better not let me down. Or Nick's gonna hear about it. Okay. But no, we'll go to the dog of the day segment. Um, I was going back and forth with my dogs before I ultimately picked one. Since I'm on four of them today, it was kind of a tough choice, but I'm going to go with the New Jersey Devils plus 145. I just love how they're playing right now. Nick is going to Philadelphia Phillies first five money line. Could be the final MLB bet of the year on Getting Wild. We'll have to see. Tim is taking Tennessee Volunteers plus 290. Ryan is taking Columbus Blue Jackets plus 230. Occupancy is going with Boston Bruins plus 110. IceX is taking the Buffalo Sabres plus 205. And Dave is going Kansas State plus 125. Will, is there a dog that you like today?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Dallas Stars, and I'll most likely join you with your Bruins best bet if that's what you're going with.
All right. All right. That's perfect because I was going between Dallas and New Jersey, and I kind of wanted it to be different anyway, so that
Yeah.
works out well. We're on different ones. And then going to best bets for me, Boston Bruins money line plus 118. Nick is taking LSU Tigers plus 14. Tim is going to take Notre Dame money line plus 160. Ryan is taking Vancouver Canucks minus 115. Occupancy is taking Islanders money line minus 125. IceX's goal scoring prop today is Patrice Bergeron plus 205. And Dave is going New Mexico plus 15.5 minus 111. And Will, you're going with Boston Bruins? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to start hearing IceX's reasoning for these.
Yeah. We if he is in the chat, which I know he is, if he wants to put his reasoning in there. Turnsy's best bet today is over 5.5 in the Wings game. Yeah, I guess with Varlamov confirmed now, 5.5 is definitely a good look.
And the Islanders have been scoring a good amount of goals. So
yeah, they're not the same under team.
Yeah.
That they have been. But that is today's show. Best luck to everybody on your bets tonight. Smash like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, or sorry if you're new to the channel. Tonight's show will be at 8 p.m. Eastern for tomorrow's games. So if you're around tonight, watch. If not, you can watch tomorrow morning or whenever you want for tomorrow's games. Make sure to tune in. ISEX is saying, well, the thing is that, and then we're not going to have enough time. So it's okay, ISEX. Message Will directly. You can message him on Twitter. The link to his Twitter and everybody's is in the description below. But best of luck on your bets tonight. Let's all beat the books, make some money on this Saturday, and we'll see you again tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for tomorrow's games. Best of luck, guys. Have a good one.